Just 'cause there's hair on that guy doesn't make him a damn voodoo monkey.
Ow! Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. Ah! You see? So what are you going to do?
Be fit like monkey.
What's up, everyone? This is the Voodoo Monkey Podcast. This is kind of a special episode because today, better than any other day, it is Greg's birthday. So happy birthday, Greg.
Oh, thanks, man. Yep.
How old are you
my
today? What are you?
I am 26 today.
26. The world knows you've turned 26.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing about your last day of being 25, right? You decide you want to go for a freaking huge run out of the blue. I was watching it on Facebook. He shared it, and I was like, oh, check this out. It's like a live video. They got those live videos on Facebook. And, you just ran through this valley from, like, the junction to this town. Why don't you just run a little bit?
It was Highway 56, and I ran 25K to Edberg. So I was just outside Camrose. We GPS'd it out, so I was exactly 25K from Edberg. It actually, my clock said it was like 26, but it doesn't really matter. It was 25 run with a 3K, I guess. And, 25K on the last day of being 25 years old. I figured that'd be a good feat.
Yeah, 25 on 25.
It was a good time. Yep.
Nice. I turned my computer way up because...
And I think I'm going to do 50 at 50 and 75 at 75 kind of idea.
Yeah, you think you'll still be running when you're that old?
Oh, yeah. I know of a 70-year-old that freaking just ran 125K.
That's awesome. That says something about being old and having, being like, how long do you think it's going to live? Like, it's going to live. What am I saying? Like, do you think that running will add years to your life, or do you think it, like, slowly decays your joints and stuff? Like, some people are worried that their knees are going to blow up because they run.
Honestly, I don't know. But, like, I know it's good for your cardiovascular and your heart health, but, like, as in terms of adding years to your life, there's a quote that we don't run to add days to our lives, we run to add life to our days.
It's a good quote, yeah. And, usually it's the heart that ends up being what kills you, right? You can have all sorts of internal organs fail. You can have no legs, no arms, but if your heart's still pumping, you're still good. Even if you die in the brain, if it keeps your heart going, you'll still survive. It's that circulation of the chemicals that keeps you alive, technically. That keeps your body there. But, like, if your mind's dead, like, if you go brain dead, do you think a person is, like, really, worth being alive? Like, are they still there? Really? Is that person there if they can't even communicate anymore? If they can't be that person they were, have that conscience?
No, I think just because they're brain dead and they're not functioning outward of the physical body, I don't think that means that they're dead consciously. Just because we retreat consciously to maybe a different state that is not registered into a physical world doesn't necessarily mean that we're not there. Because there's been many cases of people in comas and stuff where they'll wake up and they know what people were saying around them, or they remember something happening. So, like, I definitely don't think that brain dead is necessarily dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I just kind of have that thought that if a person loses what makes them individual and kind of just becomes this bland, feed me, I gotta just sit here, they can't do anything. It's kind of sad, right? And it's a sad existence, and, like, why would anybody want to stay living like that? Because there's this idea of, like, assisted suicide, right? That they're tossing around. They're going to make...
Yeah, well, then you're getting into euthanasia, and that's an interesting topic, actually. I don't know, because, like, some people, they feel so helpless, and they don't want to live their life like that. It's almost suffering in a way. So, like, I don't know. If my legs were gone, I don't know how I would feel about life anymore.
They become a wheelchair superstar. They got a wheelchair basketball. Like,
Yeah, but like, I mean, what if my arms are gone and I couldn't? You know, what if
I just watched a video of this guy with no arms.
I would maybe, I don't know, I would try my willpower for 6 months and re-heal my body, and if my brain didn't work, I would just probably give up.
Yeah, you could be like Stephen Hawking, just go into physics. Like, you remember when you made that math equation? Out of nowhere. I get a call from Greg.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second, but I have an applicable story to this topic.
All right, you go first.
There's this guy named John something rather. I don't remember his last name. He appeared in a show that's called The Secret. It's all about the law of attraction. But in 1953, he was flying an airplane and he crashed. And he had some severe injuries to his spinal cord and stuff. He ended up in the hospital and they told he would never walk again. But like, he freaking, with his willpower, eventually one night took his breathing tube out of his mouth and he starts breathing like deep breaths, and the nurses would come rushing in and put the tube back in, and he kept doing this over and over and over again, and then with strength he like forced his head to start moving, and he wrote on a piece of paper with his mouth that he was going to walk out of there at Christmas over like the course of like a week and a half. It took him a long time because he could barely move. And then he actually stood up out of a wheelchair and walked out those doors on Christmas Day.
That's amazing. That's incredible. That's like a miracle. Like, that's a personal miracle that somebody can just do that. That's incredible.
Yeah, no, but like, no, I think it comes down to willpower. I think everybody possesses that ability. It is amazing, though. It touches your heart. You're like, wow, this guy was so determined to walk again. And you know what? He's 70-some years old now, and he appears on the show, and he's talking, and he's standing there. He's fucking just like you or I.
That's amazing.
You know, so, like, he recovered fully from that.
The willpower is the most incredible thing of, like, a human. If you can measure
I was told I was pushing myself yesterday, and I was like, yeah, not really. You know, I only ran 9K yesterday. Well, I ran 9K the day before, and then I ran 25.
That's more than I can run, that's for sure.
But like,
I
don't know, but pushing yourself though, that willpower was like, I have to do this. I'm like, this is my last chance. That's what I realized. I woke up and I was like, this is the last day I'm 25 years old. This is my real last chance to be like, I am going to get up and run 25K at 25. You know, it's kind of been something I talked about, but I'm like, if I wait till tomorrow, that's it. It's over. I don't get that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know. I would start stretching out with the rolling pin, and then I went upstairs. I was like in my boxers, and Dad was back, and I was like, oh, you didn't go to church today? I was like, well, do you want to drive me out to the junction because I'm going to run to Edinburgh? And he was like, what?
Yeah, he must have been surprised to hear that. You're running
I was
where?
just like, yeah, I was just like, man, I need to run to Edinburgh right now. I'm like, I need to do 25K run. And like, he was with me in the valley, so was my mom. They walked a little bit. He's like, well, you just ran 9K yesterday. It's like, yeah, but I need to do this. I was like, it's the last chance. I'm like, I'm just going to pace myself, go nice and slow. And you know what? 3 hours and 28 minutes is not a bad time on that.
You know what I do? I'll like write down, like, oh, I got to do this run on this day. I got to do this run on this day. Like Nike Plus, I do the coach thing. And it would say, oh, you have these runs. And I'd go there, and sometimes I'd start off good. I'd do like 3 runs in a row, and then like I'd be like, okay, gotta go out and I gotta do this run, and I'd be thinking about the run, and I'd be thinking about it as work, right? I'd be thinking about it as being a draining thing, and then I'd convince myself that I don't need to do it as hard, I don't need to go as far, I don't need to be faster, and how do you fight that?
You fell into the slump.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, no, you have to. I don't know, to fight that. I'm not sure if that's like how you learn that willpower necessarily. I don't know. I guess for me, it clicked in my head when my old running coach said to me, "Is like, if it's in you to do it once, it's in you to do it again."
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, that he's like, it didn't matter how tired you were. So the story of this is, we were training for provincials. He took us on this 5K run in that valley, but we were on the side of the ski hills. It was in the summertime or fall time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we were running up and down like all these hills. He takes us on this 5K, and he takes us to like this gigantic hill, like the biggest fucking hill he could possibly find. And he's just like, okay, so we're gonna like do sprints up and down this hill. Like, we expected to go up and down it a few times. No, we did it like probably 30 fucking times. Like, literally, there was people on our team that qualified for provincials that were crying. They were in so much pain. Like,
wow.
Freaking, it felt like torture, man.
I remember.
And so he's just like, on like the 25th time, he's like, so if it was in you to get a good time once, it's in you to get a better time again.
After
or
25.
just good of the time. And he's like, so this is what we're going to do. He's like, if you guys all match or beat your time, you don't have to run this hill again. And it's ridiculous because right now we're finishing up and down this hill at like a minute and a half because we're so goddamn tired. And like the first time we did it was like, 35 seconds kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we're like, holy fuck, we have to run this bitch in 35 seconds. And what if we try real hard and we fail? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you
like,
have to go again.
It's like, what? Like, is he asking us unhuman? And like 3 of the people were like laying in the grass crying. They hurt so bad.
Wow.
I don't remember if one of them was Jaden, but I think it might have been.
This guy who's now an ultra runner. Yeah,
but he was a lot younger. He was in like grade 7 or 8 and just running with our high school provincial team.
Oh, wow. One of those guys. He's crazy too.
Yeah, but well, James was there with us. Because even though James didn't qualify for provincials that year, Cyril made him come still. Because like if someone dropped out, he could run. He only missed it by 1 spot. So like, and I think I got 15th. I got the last spot there at where I don't remember actually, because one of those races before provincials, I got like 7th or 3rd or something. So like maybe it was that, but like he just missed it. So like if someone dropped out, he was in. So we were making him train, and Jaden I think just came along. So I think Jaden was one of them that was like real hurting. And this girl named Emily that was on our team, she was a really good runner, but she was hurting too. But then like, they all get up and stuff, and we're like, oh, well, shit, we have to run this real fast. So we go down this hill, like when he says go, as fast as we can, and we start beating our times. But, like, I remember just, like, being the first one up, and I was like, I guess I'll go first, because I want to get this the hell fucking over with. And because not only this, I failed to mention this, we had to yet run back to the bus.
Oh, wow, afterwards, too.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So like,
though. Like when you're there,
and he had the bus parked where we parked out of town, where we go up. So we had to go up that fucking hill too at the end. So, anyways, I go down this hill or whatever, and like it took me like 36 seconds or in around that time, my best time, and I come back up and he clocks it off, and I was like 28 seconds.
That's insane. How is that possible?
I just fucking did not want to do it again. And he was, and so did everybody else, though. Everybody smashed their record by like the minimum amount was like 17 seconds or something.
Is that you got
so, like,
energy
everybody
from each
just
other, though.
destroyed their record. And then he's like, and now it's in you to do it once, you can always do it. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what you think. He's like, you can do this again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure he wasn't meaning stipulations, if I'm crippled, but like, you know what I mean. Like, he means that if you're physically able to it, you're able to do it again. So like, pushing yourself through that, you just have to be like, look, I've been through lots of runs, they sucked, I didn't die, I just have to go. You know, I'm going to gradually pick up the pace. And when it starts feeling a little better, I'm just going to go a little quicker. And I'm going to go just a little quicker and push myself just a little harder, run up this, and before you know it, you're running and you're not paying attention to, like, how much you don't want to run.
Yeah. Because you're thinking about something else. Yeah, it ends up being that energy though that you get when you're thinking that, like, it was in you once to do it, it's in you again, and you know this coach is telling you this, and he's like, you'll be able to run that, you'll be able to beat your time, and you're thinking, is that possible? I don't even care if it's possible, I just want to get it done, right? So you just like, I'm just gonna go as hard as I can, as fast as I can, and you just go, and then next thing you know, boom, you broke the record. That's amazing.
He was my junior high school coach for basketball too.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you that year with basketball, and props to him, he deserves like all the glory and honor for this, I'll tell you, because of his training methods. But I have medals on the door over there from 5 basketball tournaments and the regional championship. We won freaking the entire season, including the championship at the end of the season in junior high, and we went undefeated. We had 1 loss at an exhibition, which we later beat that school twice.
Nice.
Yes. So, but anyways, it was amazing though. Like, he just like literally the first like 3 weeks of the basketball season, I don't think we touched a ball in practice. Like, literally, he just ran the shit out of us. Like, we would run for, like, the first, like, half hour of practice, and then he would make us do, like, the circuit for a half hour, and then we'd be, like, jumping around back and forth across the gym, like, doing these shits and sprint things for, like, 15 minutes. And then, do you know what he would do? He'd make us pick for the last 15 minutes of practice a line on the wall. Like, he's like, jump the highest you can. We would jump the highest we can, and each of us would have to mark that spot, and then he expected us to jump for 15 minutes pretty much to the same spot.
That's incredible.
Yeah, well, in grade 9, we had
make these
5 players on our starting line that were all grabbing the rim and almost dunking in grade 9.
Wow. It pays off. That's awesome. You've kind of shown me similar kinds of training where you just set these ridiculous expectations and you try to meet them, and even if you don't meet them, you become so much more powerful, and then you go back and then you just blow them away. It's awesome.
And do you know what? That's called setting goals. And just because you come a little shy, if you made progress, I mean, did you fail? You know, and a lot of what I owe to, like, how I train you, Taylor, is to this guy. And on the spiritual sense, it's one of my other mentors. And I just kind of combine the 2 wisdoms to give you what you know as the Voodoo Monkey.
Yeah. Well, I love them for being there for you so you can tell me, because it's awesome. There's no comparing. I can't wait until I find somebody that I can teach this stuff to, you know? I want to find a little kid, a little monkey to be turned into a voodoo monkey.
Oh, I want to find a little kid, Taylor. That sounded so bad.
Oh, I'm going to turn him into a monster, though.
I'm going to turn him into a little voodoo monkey.
Run for 3 hours. Grab this kettlebell.
Just going to stick pins through him.
I'm going to tie kettlebells.
Maybe we should cut that out. I don't know if we're allowed to say that kind of stuff.
No, we're not going to do actual voodoo to living people. Or make weird...
Could you imagine? Come join our club. Pay $100 in dues. Welcome to the gang. We're gonna shove a needle through your spinal cord.
We've got our own way of acupuncture. We're trying to rediscover acupuncture. So just let us tie you up. Let us tie you up and stab you with needles. Then you can be a voodoo monkey. Like
we want to bring you back to life.
Yeah. What was the? You were saying that you should come up with like a voodoo monkey challenge. That's like you have to run 3 kilometers with a 56-pound kettlebell, and switch arms after 1.5K.
It is 54 pounds.
It is 54 pounds.
Yes. No, I didn't decide we're going to come up with that. I did decide
you did
we're doing that. Like,
I'm sharing it on the podcast.
Like, I mean, dude. Just like, man, you're thinking 3K is going to be bad. Like, I've been thinking about increasing it to 5 because I don't think it's hard enough.
Okay. Maybe to be like the prime ape, to be Greg, but I think most people won't even be able to run 1K with it.
That's pussy shit. I do not want pussies in this club.
Can I do 30 100-meter sprints instead?
If you do the 100-meter sprints as fast as an Olympian.
With a kettlebell? That would be amazing. That'd be a way to beat Usain Bolt. Just run with the kettlebell until you're faster, and then go without it. I was using the kettlebell one time, and I was kind of like holding it like it was a gorilla. Like I had gorilla arms, and I'd like jump with it, and I'd like launch myself.
Yeah.
And then like I'd take it away, and I'd do the same thing, and it was literally like I was freaking a monkey. I could jump so far. I love that. It really makes you feel like a monkey. Like,
I
honestly.
I think people are like, I don't know if we should. Human is kind of in a way the same type of species. Like, even if the evolutionary idea of like evolving from a monkey is false, and I think it's a pretty far out there theory.
Imagine a monkey with a dolphin brain inside of it.
I think
a monkey
that
body
like
and a
the
dolphin
whole
brain.
idea of monkeys and people are kind of similar. So like we're definitely in the same family.
Socially,
are primates.
They kind of do the same.
We
kind
are
of thing.
primates. I'm pretty sure scientifically that we're known as primates.
Well,
So,
we're Homo sapiens, right? Sapien, and they're like some sort of other hominid, right? 2 legs, they're bipedal, they have 2 arms, they have jaws, mandibles, everything, expellible thumbs. It makes them very similar in terms of anatomy, right? But and their kind of interactions with each other. The way
like,
they socially
if you
interact.
grew up
is
in
similar
the
to
jungle,
humans.
you take like that movie Tarzan. I know it's a movie, but you like grow up in the jungle and you like learn to do what monkeys do and did what animals did to survive. I bet your body would look like that and you would feel like that too. You know, you might not have the hair and everything. Maybe you do. It depends, I guess, if you're genetically hairy. But like,
yeah.
your strength and positioning of like where those muscles would be and what you would do. Like if you hang out with baboons, you would probably develop the same muscle structure as a baboon.
Yeah, if you do the same things, if you copy that way of life, you'll take on those traits. Right?
They're built the same. They're the
you'd
same
be
weights. They're actually lighter if I
picking
were
out
know
fleas
correctly.
from your monkey buddy's head and just eating his fleas, right? Like you would do weird things that only monkeys do, and you would become like a monkey. But we're not really doing that. We're kind of doing our own, like looking at the monkey and being like, okay, that's what a monkey is.
Yeah. I know. I'm just
monkeys
saying,
are great climbers, though. You need to do some parkour. I need to show you parkour, my friend.
Episode.
I have a parkour expert too. We should get him on the podcast too. He's awesome at parkour.
Oh, fuck yes.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
All different
After
kinds
I
of
drop
movement
that insult, he's gonna hate me.
No, you won't. Well, I don't know, maybe. can't
He'll be
make
like,
any guarantees.
who's this fucking guy? And I'll be like, I'll fight you, motherfucker. And I'm just kidding.
He'll just do a backflip over your head. And just flip over top. He'll jump on your shoulders and front flip off of you.
That would be freaking nuts, eh? Just backflip. It'd be like some Bruce Lee shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Shit, motherfucker.
Yeah,
no, I think
parkour
is sick. I don't even know what I was saying. I was just freaking...
I like talking about, that idea of the pep talk and how it gives you energy. How can words make you feel this kind of chemical release of energy? I think that's an impressive thing that happens. And coaches are just amazing people because they have that ability. They do it every time they practice, every time they have a game.
I think is called spirituality.
That ability to kind of
instill I don't know energy if that's an ability.
It is. It is. People are bad at it and people are good at it. It's an ability. It's a skill.
No, man. I think everybody can equally be good at it, and it's all
they can be, but they're not
for everybody.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, the freaking that feeling of chemical release of happiness. It's that like comes from somewhere.
Bringing out the passion.
The energy behind where it comes from is exactly what that spirituality should consist around.
Yeah, it's that idea of that we're all together, we're all doing this, and we all want it to be the best.
Dude, I want to tell you a cool experience about this run yesterday. I was like feeling real like, I don't know, I've been to church. I was at one time committed to a religion. I went to Bible college for a bit. I took some hermeneutics. I took Old Testament. I took spiritual formation. I took all these like crazy classes, and I did believe it for a while. But you know what? Yesterday, when I was on that highway, I felt more connected to the sense of what an original creation of God is ever.
Going back to that spirit of humanity, like thousands and thousands of years ago, when there wasn't quite as much of a civilization. You have this connection to nature and God just from that run,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and like I mean, I was feeling it, and I was just like, it was almost like I was thanking nature. Like I was out loud because I was by myself. I didn't really care, I was out loud, like just thanking nature for this beautiful way to spend my last day being 25 and life for just working out the way it did. And you know what? Like when I thought what brought me to that moment, once I was already there doing it, I'm like, this isn't just an idea. Like I feel like this had like this path as like, when I was born, one day I was going to run 25K on my 25th, or the last day of being 25. And I was like, what an amazing path after everything I've come through and stuff. So, like, I mean, I just saw this as this beautiful spiritual experience. And I want to tell you, like, because I was actually, I think I was doing like 8 or 9K an hour throughout the race or throughout that run. I call it a race because it was a life race. Ooh, that's what I said in my live video.
That's spiritual.
Yeah, but when I was coming down the hill, I remember like looking into the bushes because like I was pushing myself pretty hard, and because I ran yesterday, I was like really exhausted. And I'm coming back up the hill, and I'm in the valley, and I look over in the bushes because I'm like kind of scanning for cougars because I saw one down there before. And I think that like that area is really freaking insanely good for hiding cougars. And so like I was just looking around real attentively, and in the one bush I seen this like the shape of what I thought was a wolf or a bunch of coyotes, and it looked like a bunch of them. Right? They were just standing in the trees and walking around, and I looked back and they weren't there, and I was like, what the fuck? And I looked there and I was like, well, where are they? And then I thought I saw one again. I'm looking real high, I'm like, that's a tree. And then I see like this herd of deer just run through the bush, and I'm like, what the flying fuck? I didn't know if it was real or not. So I took a picture of these deer, and I'm like, okay, so those deer were definitely there, whether there was as many as I thought I seen, which I later confirmed with somebody who lives in Edinburgh. Yes, that field has obtained a huge amount of deer lately.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was hallucinating in that valley. I was like, what the hell is going on, man? Because I was cold. My hands were starting to freeze because it was getting a little cooler.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like terrible, but it was chilly, and like my legs have been going for so long, and like my head was just in this weird place, and my eyes started watering, and like I just felt like all this burn, and I just like knew I had to keep going because I was just about there. Like I've never reached 5K before away from somewhere and been like, I'm almost there. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like usually some people, they reach 5K away from some and they're like, well, I'm starting this race.
Yeah.
I'm getting to 5K and I'm like, I'm just about there. I'm freaking, I only got to climb up this hill for like 2K.
That's really
after
funny.
I ran all that way, and then I got to freaking, and I'll tell you, it was different on the pavement. Repetitive, it was flat, like the way my legs felt was so much different, and the impact on my hips because they felt like tired out, like because of how they were running. They weren't going up and down. When I came down the hill, it was so heavenly. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you open?
This feels so nice. And then when I start going up the hill, it felt nice until like my quads started burning real bad, and I was like, how sore are my legs really? And like I was kicking my leg into my leg. I cut up my ankle with my shoe pretty quick because I wasn't sure like how tired I was, but like my legs were tripping into each other. And but I don't know. I kept going. I had points where I walked near the very end, like the last few K, but then like I managed to pull it together. I only probably walked a total of maybe 1.2K out of the whole run, and I didn't walk at all until like literally the last 3K. I could not keep going at that point. I could keep going, but I couldn't keep pacing. I had to slow her down and let my legs relax, and I found a second wind when I did that. Because like when I picked up again, I was like, oh, I needed that little like few minutes of a break, and I just kept going. And like yesterday when I packed my satchel. I packed like this little running shoe bag, like you carry shoes in. I put a change of pants in it, a couple pairs of gloves, an extra bottle of water, my Ultra bottle, which I had sticking out the top. So while I had this thing on my back, I could reach over and grab it. I had a fanny pack with my phones in it and a few other materials, just in case I needed them.
Yeah.
Emergency cases, like if my knee was fucked up, I had my knee brace.
Yeah, stuff like that for sure. That constant motion, that
Yeah.
repetitiveness, though, it kind of makes your body think that it's asleep. And even though you're moving, yeah, I bet you're.
I had the perfect, but it didn't end up working out like that because like, freaking the wind was so crazy. I was like, I don't know. I was trying to be like constantly moving, but like when the wind would blow you, it sucked at first, and then like, but actually after a while it would feel good. But like then I had a safety pin also. It was poking me from like the edge of my fanny pack, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck me, man! Like this sucks." And I like had to like knock it off and take that one out and hope that the one held, because if the one held, I was gonna have to find a way to tie that thing so it stayed.
Wouldn't you
like
want
it
to
was
like?
partially holding my satchel kind of still too, which I had to hold the satchel because of how it was sitting on me and it was moving around too much and using too much energy. I had to hold the satchel with the strings outward with my hands tucked in. So like my arms are gonna work out because they were dead stuck because I was holding the satchel the whole time I was pacing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was only holding my arms just like tucked under my rib cage by my nipple, and then like my hand flat out pushing the string to keep it tight on my back so it would stop it from flopping around. But then I would have to like pull the string, reach over, grab the nozzle, and then like stick my mouth on it and like pull it open, and I would drink out of the bottle and I'd close it and I would stick it back and I would just keep going. And it was kind of an interesting method because I didn't have any drop bags. I didn't have anybody coming to save me. I didn't have any aid stations. I pretty much just woke up and ran along a highway. None to mention it was a busy highway. Most people were good. Most people slowed down. I got a few waves, Pretty sure the thoughts were like, it was funny. One guy drove by me and he turned around again, and I was like, yeah, that's right. You saw a crazy bastard in the winter running down the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
You'd be like, oh yeah, there goes a runner. But like most people have no clue what runners go through on these runs, so it's awesome that we're talking about it. People can hear it and know, and maybe get interested in it.
I know awesome. For a fact a couple people yesterday might have been clued into the fact because like when they were like passing me going into town, right? When I left. And freaking later on, I would see that same vehicle when I was closer to Edinburgh, and they slow down and they're looking and they're waving, and it's like, it gives you a little extra motivation to keep going. And then plus I'm on the social media, people are giving me credit for it. That's definitely helping. People are like, keep it up, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
This whole idea. And I'm like, man, I'm so dedicated to this. Like, I don't think I would have fucking crawled to Edinburgh for the last mile if I had to. I don't think I was quitting. I was there. I don't think I had a choice. I had to go. I had to go. Nobody was picking my ass up. I was fucking done.
Yeah.
Like, once I left, I literally got dropped off and left in the middle of nowhere. And I just took off from there.
Nice. So, like, when you go on these runs, I remember my favorite part when we went on runs in Camrose there in the valley would be when we stopped and meditating. That was what I was looking forward to. I was running to the meditation, Would you ever do that during a run?
I kind of miss doing that.
It really gives you a big boost after you're done. And if you feel like you just started running again once you're done, once you started.
Well, imagine you're meditating while running, though.
Well, yeah, you were trying to get me to do that too, and when you were talking about kind of like having these little hallucinations while you were running there during your 25K, I wonder if that's similar to kind of meditating while you're running. You meditate so vividly that
those hallucinations had to do with being alone in the cold and physically exerting for so many hours.
Yeah,
because like that's the first time like I've experienced hallucinations running, period, and I've done further distances than that. So, like, I definitely think it had to do with being, like, out literally in the wilderness kind of by myself a little bit. The stress of being by a highway, and, like, on top of it, I wasn't seeing people. It was literally just me on the side of the road. I wasn't going to pass anybody or see anybody. And so, like, That is an interesting meditation. I was meditating, thinking a lot about like just like I don't know. I don't care what I've been through, man. Like I'm in good shape. I'm 25 years old, or was 25 years old, and ran 25K. What a good way, you know.
Yeah.
That has to mean I'm in good shape, you know. Just because I have a few health problems like anybody else with maybe a bad diet or, you know, my smoking problem. But I haven't been smoking as much. I really am gonna quit soon. Trying to take this running thing more seriously. It'd be nice to get sponsored or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I like going for. I'm not going for like crazy runs, but it's come in handy. I take the dog for the run. That's always awesome, running around the field. And it's kind of helped me to build bonds with nature and with animals too. Like I find this kinship with animals now, which is weird.
This is a new beginning to training. You think that you're not doing these long runs. Oh, you're doing them, bud. You're friends with me. You're kind of fun.
Well, I do want to go on them.
If I do something bizarre, you know I'm going to make you do it at one point or another. So
you'll make me want to. You'll create some sort of idea that it'll make me more badass, and I'll be like, yeah.
Taylor, we're gonna run a relay 108K together. You're gonna do 54, and I'm gonna do 54 at the Black Spur.
I gotta start training. I gotta really get training if I want to be able to do 54K with a good pace.
August 17th, 18th weekend. I think I'll double check the date.
This August.
The pay is going to be $220, I think, and I guess this could be the first race of the Voodoo Monkeys. We'll put in a team called the Voodoo Monkey team.
Yeah.
And you can do the 54K, and I will do 54K of 108K relay. I mean, I don't know if it has to be perfectly split in half, because if it doesn't, I'm okay with like a 60-40. But like, we should fucking look into that, and actually, I think you should do that. And then maybe I can get you to join me on like 100K or something.
All right. I'll try to do it, man.
And then maybe...
I'm not going to try to do it. I'm in.
Taylor,
I'm doing it.
Taylor, running is like a subjective term, though, when you get into those really high distances. Like, 54K, you're going to have some points of walking. This is going to be cross-country terrain. There is a mountain elevation, I think, at 8,000 on that race. Mm-hmm. There's other races we can do. If you want to join me, I really need a pick guy for this. I only really need one guy. If you want, but I plan to go down to it's the same week. See, that's a problem. We should maybe look at another relay. But like, there's an Iron Legs 50 miler, and I was talking to Jaden, and he said that is like one really badass race. He hasn't even done it yet, and he thought it would be really cool if that was my first ultra. If I just like went in and got my Iron Legs. He's like, you would just pretty much be doing like the hardest fucking ultra right off the hop.
Wow. I don't know. I'm gonna look this thing up. Iron Legs is what it's called?
The Iron Legs 50 miler, but I want to do the 100 maybe.
Iron Legs 50 miler. So 50 miles, that's like times 1.6. We live in Canada. It's like 75 kilometers, more than 75.
Wait till you read about it. You're going to be like, what the fuck? Who does this? It's so twisted, man.
The distance is closer to 54 miles, and the elevation gain is over 4,200 meters. That's 13,780 feet. Wow. There's no other 50 miler in Canada that has more elevation gain. Wow. So this is in the Canadian Rockies, though. Like, let's check this out. There's a 50 miler, 100K, 60K, and a relay. There's an Iron Legs
100K.
Iron Legs relay.
100K.
Great race for those runners who are not ready for the 100K, 50 miler, or 60K, but still want to challenge themselves. Split between 7 sections is the relay, with a friend or two.
But I want to solo that one.
Relay. Well,
so maybe we could find you a couple people to relay. I know Danny Berg might maybe want to do it. We could talk to this guy. He's that bodybuilder guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did the Black Spur and stuff. He's done a couple ultras. That's why I found him so fascinating. This dude's like bodybuilding all winter long, and then in the summer he's doing high repetitions and fucking doing these ultra runs and carrying all this weight for several distance. Like, what the hell? 54K for a bodybuilder? That's insane. I asked him what kind of impact that had on him and on his knees and stuff. Like, I can't even believe he crosses that. He doesn't feel much of anything. So that's amazing to me.
Because yeah, their whole thing is to build weight, right? They want mass all the time. And for this guy to go take his giant mass now and run 50Ks at a time, 40K, whatever.
Yeah, and he only trains for a few weeks in the summer for running, and then he does a couple ultras, and then he goes back to this like weight repetition in the winter again.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks awesome. I'm looking at some pictures. There's people all over there. It's all in the Rocky Mountains, hey?
Yeah, you can ask us, but read about the race. There's an article where it tells you about the terrain and the course. Read about the course. Read it out loud.
Trying to find another here. I'll just read about the...
I'll tell you a couple you can read about because I find it would be interesting.
Takes you up onto a ridge
on the show
before looping around through a valley and coming back over the ridge and towards the finish. The 50-mile trail runs besides and up onto a mountain.
Let's talk about the 100 mile or the 100K. I mean, sorry, not the 100 mile.
The 100K.
I don't
see anything in here.
I don't really give a shit about the 50 miler. I really just want to get 100K done and out of my fucking life. Just so I can start training for the Bigfoot 200. I can't believe I actually have a set goal that I'm going to do that race. 200 miles through Mount St. Helens, 4 days, and I hopefully can pull it off in 72 hours is my goal. I think there's an 80-hour cutoff.
And you have to be like awake for that whole time? Like you can't sleep?
Oh, you get to sleep, but you're not going to want to sleep for long or else you won't make the cutoff.
Wow. How are you going to be able to like wake yourself up?
You like the most you're going to want to sleep is maybe 1 4-hour sleep along the journey. But like you'll sleep for an hour, maybe 2. You'll have somebody in your pictures wake you up. There's sometimes you get to stages in the race, wrong time of the day. You're like climbing a mountain. You're on this sketchy ledge. It's nighttime. You can't see the view. You have to watch the path in front of you. You know, it's crazy. But like, I mean, it sounds like a good time. And 5 Mount St. Helens, like what? I want to run by a volcano.
Yeah. Who knows when that thing's going to explode? Well, it already did explode.
It did in 1980, but you know what? We don't know everything about life. What if that thing erupted again? That would so suck if it erupted during like a Bigfoot 200.
Yeah, all of a sudden you have to sprint away from lava. That'd be quite the hell of a race, eh?
Yeah, it's just like encountering legitimate lava oozing from a volcano.
Yeah. It's like when you're a kid and you play that, the floor is lava. Only literally, it'll be like real life. Yeah.
Anyways,
There's a lot of awesome
so that
runs
race
out there. I think that's a great way to travel. What's that?
That race is real badass. It's pure cross country through mountain terrain.
Yeah.
There's no path. It is not set course. There's not going to be a trail. Literally like markers. There's a log there, jump over the log. You have to go through the bush, go through the bush. You know, there is not anything that's like freaking you have to go here.
Yeah.
Like the trail is literally like freaking the mountains. It's like follow this general 3 foot, 4 foot wide area or this area that will end up right here, but follow the markers to the end of this kind of thing. Right. And that's what these ultra runs are like. Check out the death race. The death race is a badass one. The Canadian death race. It's a 125K.
I remember hearing about the death race. One of my teachers from school would talk about the death race as kind of this huge thing that is a big deal.
It really is. Another race I'm very
The Course from Hell.
Doing.
All-terrain extreme adventure race course on a very challenging terrain, including 3 mountain summits and over 17,000 feet of elevation change. So it goes up and down and up and down and up and down over 3 mountain 3 mountains. You run over top of 3 mountains. That is insane. The race begins and ends in Grand Cache, Alberta. 5 legs of the run, individually or in relay teams. Or you can just run the first 2 legs.
I am going to individual that one too. I think I can knock off 200 or 100 Ks this year. And then, you know what, like maybe 100 miler. That's my goal for this race season.
This is detailed. You have 6 kilometers of pavement. Then you have a trail of 3.5 kilometers of gravel road. You lose 500 feet, rolling hills and flat sections, creek crossings, downhill. You run by a lake, a couple lakes, quad trails. You get a nice view. Run by a rail yard, through a deep mud bog. And then you enter the first aid station and relay exchange zone. So second leg.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted. This is kind of making me want to go run another 25K tomorrow just so I know what it's like to get 50 down.
Rest is dirt trail with rocky and swampy sections. So this is like rough.
Did you hear
terrain.
what I said?
You're going to run another 25?
I just said I think I might run another 25K tomorrow just so I can see what it feels like to get 50 down. Because my legs did have a bit of a break, but I want them to still be tired. Because if I do a 50K, I'm only going to know what that feels like if I actually exert the 50K. So, like, I'm thinking maybe I should be going on another 25 tomorrow.
Sweet.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to hurt that knee yet. You know, I want to be careful with it. That's my big thing. But James said, he was like, you're getting there. He's like, because I am definitely doing 4 or 5 tomorrow. 100%. So that made me happy. I'm getting to this point I'm in shape again.
Yeah.
Chet, let's read about the Bigfoot 200. Let's look at that. Let's look at the course of that. It should have a detailed.
This one's awesome.
And we gotta also check out that Arctic Circle one because it has a 100-miler all the way up to 400.
Okay, that's one I'm gonna check out for the
biking,
Arctic Circle race.
Or like freaking.
That sounds sweet.
What you call it, skiing, but you have to take whatever you leave with, and you're carrying these like sleds. I watched this video today on Facebook because the race commenced just a few days ago. And this one chick who shows up at the 300-miler finish who won it. Actually, I don't remember if it's a chick or a dude, but they're just like crying. They're so fucked up from the race and being all by themselves in the wilderness. And this one dude, he encounters like a bear and almost loses his life. And so he just reevaluates what he needs, and so he starts burning supplies and shit. Like, it's fucked up. What a race.
Yeah, that's crazy. What people will try to put themselves through and they're not ready. 3 days of survival. That's what it's called. Don't die. The race.
For 100 miles is considered 3 days.
No. Hang on, let me look this up.
No, it takes 3 days to do 100 miles.
That's
I'm serious.
like a regular.
It's a 3-day cutoff. It is a 3-day cutoff on the 100 miles. That's how badass it is. Like, 100 miles takes most runners who do those races like 20 some hours.
There's 100 and a 160. Race 7.
I don't think you're looking at the right one. There's also a 200 and a 300.
This is kind of confusing. This is in like Greenland.
Oh, what the hell are you looking at that? No, Yukon, Whitehorse.
What?
Fucking Arctic Circle Ultra.
This looks like cross-country skiing, yeah.
Yeah, no, that shit's bullshit, man. We're talking about an ultra that goes up to 100 to 400 miles on over the Arctic Circle, buddy. In the middle of fucking
Yukon
winter.
Arctic Ultra. Here we go. Arctic Ultra. Yukon River Trail Marathon. I like this Arctic Ultra though. That sounds cool. 300-mile race is over.
Yeah, I want to do the frickin' Yukon
430-mile race. Fuck.
Yes. Dude, I plan to accomplish that one day.
I can't believe people do that. I remember that legend. There's a legend about some like Spartan warrior who runs like for 3 days constantly and to his death to deliver a message, right?
Yeah, that's the original saying of the marathon, and he ran 8 back-to-back marathons and then died. It's like 200 and some miles. There's a ultra that starts in Greece somewhere, runs to the statue in Athens or something. I don't know where the start was, but it runs to Athens, and it is 200 miles, and it is literally like I think like one of the most badass ultras on the planet. It's the original place of the ultra marathon. So like for any runner to go to that event, it like is pretty much that story. That is the place.
His name is
was supposed to have
Theodipides. Yeah, Theodipides.
I
the
plan
runner.
to run that. I want to run that too. I think you have to qualify for it though. I think you have to qualify in the Western States 100 or something crazy. I'm not sure what kind of qualification you need to run that race. And also, you have to apply to the Arctic Ultra. So I figured the Bigfoot 200 is actually going to be the reason I have goals to do it is because it's a badass race. It looks good, looks like a fun adventure, but like, you know, when you've completed something like that, they're more inclined to let me do like a 100 mile in the Arctic. I'll start off with the 100 miles, take it from there, because it'd be nice to complete all of those distances.
Wow, I'm gonna read this. This is kind of the little traditional story of the 1879 poem Theodipides. So, when Persia was dust, all cried, "To Acropolis, run, Theodipides, one race more. The meed is thy due. Athens is saved. Thank Pan, go shout." He flung down his shield, ran like fire once more, in the space twixt the fennel field and Athens was stubble again, a field which a fire runs through, till in he broke. Rejoice, we conquer. Like wine through clay, joy in his blood, bursting his heart, the bliss.
That was the most poetic, awesome philosophy shit I've ever heard.
Isn't that sweet?
Dude, can you send me that? Can you like copy and paste me that and send me that? I want to put that on my Instagram profile, I think.
I'm gonna send that to you right now. That I just looked it up. I didn't know his name, Theodipides.
Dude, that is my freaking. I'm gonna define. I want to get that tattooed on me. That's fucking badass.
It's kind of long for a tattoo, but you know that idea of like.
I don't care. This whole freaking.
We won. Now
like,
go one race more. Run back. Give word of our conquer. And he goes back, and he's just
did you
happy to do it the whole way.
Oh yeah. The bliss. The
bliss.
Is that the credit on it?
Yeah.
Is that the credit? Okay.
Oh, here I'll give you the.
I don't want to.
That's Robert Browning.
Dude, I can't even fucking. I don't even think I could put
1879
something
poem.
that long in my thing. However, I am gonna make that my status for right now, but I want to make that my fucking. Can I make that my profile or whatever?
Just look up Theodipides. I'm just on Wikipedia. I love all the different names for Greek people.
I hate
Greek
how the
names are
social
amazing.
medias won't let you have a good bio. Like, they limit you. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I would say, oh my god, what a fucking...
Like how you only have, 200 characters for Twitter? It's like, how do I get this across in this...
Man,
Facebook
Facebook only gives you 100 characters now, man.
No, you can write as much as you want on Facebook.
No,
I've seen
you can't.
huge posts.
Go right now and go edit bio. You cannot anymore.
Oh, in your
You are
biography.
limited to 101.
I thought you were talking about just this, like a post.
Oh, no. Like, I mean, like...
I don't have anything. I should write my biography.
Profile.
I don't have my biography written. I should probably put that on there. Facebook's kind of important. It's kind of like this is my public me, right? This is Facebook. That's pretty much how Facebook is.
Man, it's crazy what social media has done to the world. Anyways, I like the idea of talking about this badass guy. Let's talk more about this freaking text and see if we can figure out. Like, it sounds badass. You kind of know what he's talking about, but let's like actually freaking this one thing I took in hermeneutics is studying literature, but like it was more the study of Bible literature. Robert Browning gave the version of traditional story in his 1879 poem from Fedidite. how do you say that? Fetidipes?
This guy's name?
Fetidipes?
Theodippides.
Fetidipes?
Theod-
Fetidipes?
Theodipides. I think it's just Dippides. I think it's Theodipides.
Fetidipes.
I'm gonna see the pronunciation.
So,
Maybe
but anyways, I wonder if that has any relation, just based on the spelling and like the time, and like where it is. I wonder if this has any relation to Philippians.
To who?
To Philippians. Philippians is a group of people talked about in biblical times. And like that looks like almost like the original word of Philippians.
Pheidippides.
Yeah, Pheidippides.
Pheidippides. See if there's like what Philippians. See if they have any relation to Philippians. I'm just interested. I'm just
This
curious.
guy.
They might not. I might be just crazy.
Philippides, Herodotus, and Plutarch. I don't know.
Type
Pretty
in
much all he did was run
Philippides
from
and Philippians. I want to see both. Like I want to see if there's any relation to that.
Philippians.
Yeah.
Philippians, like
I just
Filipinos.
wanna see-
Philippine.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, but like because Philippians though is a time of Philippians was like of a time of like in the Bible times, but the Bible took place around Greece and Rome and all these areas,
Part
and
of a
so I'm
series
just kind of
law.
curious. So like, what if there's
Epistle.
any relation because the spelling looks so much alike to the same.
Well, yeah.
the same
Here,
idea.
the epistle of Paul and Timothy to the Philippians, often referred to simply as Philippians, is the 11th book in the New Testament. Paul and Timothy first visited Philippi in Greece during Paul's second missionary journey, which occurred between approximately 49 and 51 AD. Philippi was the
See,
location
look
of
at that,
the first
Taylor.
Christmas.
Isn't that amazing?
Philippi,
By simple
yeah.
language. Hold on. By simple spelling and language, though, I was able to know that there was going to be some historic connection to that.
Well, I
Amazing.
wonder
Anyway.
about Philippi. I wonder what that was named from. Runs in sentence with the name Credides. So when Philip
So when
II, Philip II of Macedon conquered this city after and called it
Reading
Philippi.
Sorry.
It has nothing to do with the runner, Philippides.
Oh, I know it has. I know it has nothing to do with the runner, but like, I just mean like the freaking. A lot of places in those areas and stuff are like they have similar spellings or similar language.
Well, yeah,
So, like, when you
that
look at
was pretty
something
much
like
when
that-
language.
That when you look at something like that, you know that they have some relation. So like I'm just thinking like with Philippians in the Bible, I want to know if there's a direct relation. But like even if it's just they were visited by the Apostle Paul or whatever to go see, to go talk, that's the same people. Like that's the same type of people they would have went and talked to in Greece. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like, at what point did that religion start to overcome with the freaking bullshit of this? Because like, to me, I read this poem and I'm like, even though you don't totally understand the language and you have to have this effort to look into it, I'm like, this is the real fucking deal. When I read some Bible stories, no matter what the interpretation or King James, I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like, what is this nonsense?
That reminds me
Because
of
I'm
when
like,
they,
there's a good moral here, but like I feel like this moral would be so much better in a cool ass story like this. Like I don't know if I'm being selfish to that, but like I don't know. When I run, I feel more approach to like, or push myself to that limit. I feel more approach to like a real God than anything that I guess Christianity would have had to offer.
Mm-hmm. I remember taking a classics class in university before I dropped out, and I was learning about kind of the birth of humanity and civilization, and kind of like Macedonia and all that. And Greek was a big deal. Greece was a big deal in the early days. After language was born and everything, it kind of really got refined in Greece and became this new kind of golden thing that people could easily share their ideas, people could easily communicate with each other and create art and discuss the world and develop this worldview together. And that's something that we've kind of lost touch with, I think, as a race. We don't really develop anything. We think we have everything that we already need, and we don't worry about making anything better. We're just like, whatever's out there, we'll just buy, and then we'll throw away.
You know
and then
that
we'll go buy other
that's
stuff.
crazy
It'll always
though,
be made.
because like we have this idea we have to make everything better, but it's the wrong things.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who needs a better phone? They're all the same. But the technology is kind of a thing that's always improving and always needs to be improving.
But, like, does it have to be? Like, would you need to fix something that isn't broken?
Yeah.
You know, like...
Like, why are there 700 different versions of the alarm clock? Really? Everything has to be styled, suited perfectly to fit just that chi zone within a house. Like, you have to have the perfect lamp. You have to have the perfect couch, the perfect whatever. People are very, very specific on what they put into their lives. So they,
and prestigious, like, I don't know, like...
Just the variety of individuals and homes and families.
There's this idea that they have to be, like, I don't know, this attachment to their belongings, their things, you know, and, like, I don't know, you're not taking them with you when you die. They're not coming with you in your coffin. The only thing going to your coffin is the people around your coffin, and they're going to even leave you to be put into the ground. So what memory are you leaving them with as you go into the ground, I guess? And I guess that I don't know how much of an impact that's going to have on what happens after. You know, like, does your conscious not remember and return to this sanctity of something? Does it remember and return to the sanctity of something? Are you reincarnated? Are you not? You know, those are all questions I think are fun to talk about, good to discuss, but the bottom line is you don't know. We're not going to ever know until it happens. And so I don't think that's the point. I think the point is to live life the way we live life, like to see the significance of life as life. Yeah. So, like, finding the things that should have good values, like nature. It kills my soul, actually, when I hear about, you know, a part of land being cleared and then building developments going up. What was... Somebody was telling me just today, they were saying in Edmonton, there's this one park, and it's this nature preserve area where that area is not allowed to have development. And I'm like, well, that's good. That makes me happy. I would like to see more of that. But, like, in the first place, why is this development issue so out of hand that nature's being destroyed in the first place? Why do we have to put up this part that says, oh, you cannot have development here because this is that beautiful? Like, and I just think it's so stupid because it is all these things that we are putting up, like these houses, to put these, oh, I need this lamp, I need this TV, I need this door, I want this view. Like, it seems selfish in a way, not in the way of individual people or as a race, because other animals don't maybe do that, but more in the way of, like, we're like, this is my creation and I live here and this is my world, so I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want with it.
Mm-hmm. People have a detachment from nature. People are cold to nature. They don't feel a kinship with what created us. They think that we were born here, we were put here for whatever reason, and that reason is to take whatever we want. That reason is to, you know, freaking do whatever we want to. And it kind of sucks because, like, it's so awesome when you find these different keys and you put them all together, and it, you know, imagine the first discovering fire, imagine the first forging of making metals and stuff, the addiction of creating something new and wanting to keep reproducing it, no matter what the cost is to Earth, no matter what the cost is to you know, civilization, whatever. You can't really battle that. It's always going to be there. And that kind of idea of innovation sometimes shouldn't always be carried through. It's like in Jurassic Park. They spent so much time just seeing if they could do it, they didn't stop to think if they should. And that's a huge question of morality.
And do you know what's crazy is that mistake keeps getting made.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, over and over. Do you know what they're trying to do now? I don't know, like, how far along they are in this process, but they are trying to successfully, because they realize asteroids contain all the same minerals and stuff is every natural resource we've ever used or needed is containable in an asteroid. They want to fly to space, land on an asteroid, and mine it.
They've done that. They've taken samples from an asteroid. There was a comet that flew by. We landed a spaceship on it, drilled into
took a
it.
sample. Yeah, I know, but they want to go up and actually pull resources from it.
Yeah, well, I know we need to like seriously get better technology for that, though. I mean, we've got SpaceX leading the edge.
Wait. Let's stop this for a second. What the fuck is that going to like do cause and effect on the cosmos? Because now you're not just fucking with something within the planet. Now you are fucking with something in this natural cycle of.
Do you think there's a possibility of cosmic disaster, like a natural disaster? Do you think there could be like a cosmic disaster, like the butterfly effect? You move this asteroid, and it's got some weird gravitational string that connects it to this other asteroid way beyond Earth's edge, and we just like pull it a little bit, and then it changes the orbit of it so that it enters our solar system, and next thing you know, it's following that other asteroid, and it comes to Earth, and there's this giant asteroid that we can't destroy just because we moved this other little asteroid. The idea of cause and effect on such a cosmic scale to the point of gravitational strings pulling other things together. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, man. Like, we just took a huge level increase in this conversation. Okay, man.
Yeah, we made it over the hour mark.
I think I have ideas of how parallel universe fits into time now.
Yeah? As almost like it's the same universe, different time. It's just you're stepping through time into what seems like a parallel universe, but really it's the same thing. It's a different version of the same thing, which is cool. Well, I mean, creation itself wasn't perfect. The Big Bang, we know, wasn't perfect because there's all these different gravitational low spots and high spots.
I don't know if what you're describing is the same idea as like kind of what I'm seeing.
Well, you're talking about a parallel universe.
Okay, look at that math equation that I made for a sec. So you kind of know how I had that third dimension set up, and I had that other kind of like alternative planet. Well, I think everything kind of overlaps to like kind of just a little bit, and I think like every parallel universe has the ability to collapse into the next parallel universe at any given moment. Which is what actually gives us this perfect timing of cause and reality of our lives. So, like, did that make sense to what I just said to you?
Yeah, sort of. It's like there's these layers of reality in between itself. Like, you know, you look at the wall, and it's like, okay, inside of that wall, is there like more wall, or is there like, you know, no. Slip
more like,
of it?
Okay, you're about to make a choice, right? So, for example, like recently in my life, I had this time I was like, well, had I not made this choice, this wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? Like, in a way, if you go back to think about that thing that happened when I was, you know, much younger to me, and you think about, I'm like, well, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't know this person, I wouldn't know Casey, I wouldn't know these people. Literally, all from a choice years and years and years ago. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, when you think about like that overlap, right, and when that choice is being made and what that overlap is outplaying to, and we call it destiny or something that's predetermined. I don't think it's predetermined. I think the energy of that choice causes this ripple effect, and it travels through that, and it kind of creates this outcome as like, now these are your outcomes from this, and then like, based on other choices you make, ends up what outcome you're at. And when you reach that road, you kind of make another choice, and like it does like the same thing, and an outcome. And those areas are the overlap in like the circle graph. You put two circles where they overlap each other in the center. The center part, that is the outcome of choices. And then like you have the circular part where anything's possible in that whole world, and it can change like who you are as a person, how you interact with that third dimension, how the relationships you have, you know, pretty much anything. Like, and at what level does that change consciousness, and you know, like how fine-tuned that system is to be literally perfect down to every single degree of every overlapping parallel universe. Because I'm starting to think that the parallel universe is like completely virtually unlimited.
Yeah, there's an idea of like a perfect universe where everything is harmonized correctly. I've read books
think
by
it
Stephen
is
Hawking.
infinity. I think infinity is that perfect harmonization.
Yeah, I could see that. That kind of idea of negative infinity, the sum of negative infinity to positive infinity. The sum of that. What is that? That was your equation.
That is the molecular structure of like the God molecule, God structure, creation. Yeah. Literally, it holds everything together.
But I read this book by Stephen Hawking, and in it, I feel like I understood most of it. In it, he's got this part about world lines that each particle kind of follows this path, and it's traceable through time, right? We're kind of.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That is exactly the same shit that I mean.
And if you believe in fate,
except
it's like
that's such an easier way to say it.
If you take the statistics of choices, like if you have all these different choices you make in life, and you track them, if there's some way to track them, like say people who believe in God, they believe He's omnipresent. He could keep track of that. He's what it gets recorded in. Your world line gets recorded in God, let's say. And as you make more of these choices, they become more statistically probabilistic. Like you can predict them more, basically, because they always kind of follow a similar path, and that kind of increases the probability of fate, which will.
That is exactly what I just said to you.
Yeah, and you use it with the idea of world lines, which is a real physics principle. Well, it's theoretical. It's theoretical. But
I don't want to be arrogant or anything, but like with no background knowledge, I just pretty much gave you a Stephen Hawking theory out of my own head.
Yeah,
so like
that shows the level. Yeah, the level of intelligence we can talk on. This kind of sucks because I can't get this conversation.
No, seriously, how smart are we though?
I don't know.
We could upload this podcast. Most people won't know what we're talking about in this area of the combo, but I don't really care. This is kind of cool. We have that lifeline right now. That's what I realized today. That's why I didn't care if we're recording. Is because like this podcast is like these conversations that we would be having anyways. And we can go back and like hear these and like be like, oh man. Like I don't care how big it gets. That's cool. That's our legacy, and we're recording it behind us as we journey through this spiritual growing thing. And that's where technology is cool. To be able to have this external hard drive in a way that we can create these memories that we wouldn't otherwise remember with just our heads. Because like your phone's like a hard drive. You have all these contacts, you have like 600 friends on Facebook, but if you didn't have that and didn't have any of this technology, you can maintain maximum, I think psychologically it is 150 relationships approximately.
Wow.
And you wouldn't remember. But now because of the picture, because your mind will remember every face automatically it ever sees, even if you don't physically remember it and your subliminal thought, that's where people and like images and your dreams come from. That's an actual fact. So like when you encounter people and stuff, like it just goes straight to storing that. So like I think when you see someone on Facebook, like a person and a profile, you like see them and then you're like, oh yeah, that time I remembered him here. It kind of helps you remember in a way. So in that way, technology is good. I just don't think we understand the life form of technology. Because it is a life in some way, some sense of way, but I don't think we get it. I just think we know how to make it.
Pretty much. And there's a real split there. Some people, they're always looking technology to kind of provide them with something. They want something from technology. But you've kind of got to make technology your slave. You got to give it what you need it to do. You got to provide the input. You can't expect output from technology.
But when you create this like device, like, and you're making it your slave and it does everything you want it to do, like, what if it's holding a level of consciousness and you're like enslaving it? One day that thing's gonna want to rebel. It's gonna be fed up with being fucking used the way it is, and it's gonna say, "You motherfucker, no." And then what happens? What happens if all our cell phones just like start loading to one another and like become this like crazy thing that start controlling our minds on frequencies and leading us to our own self-destruction or some shit. Now, I know it's a little bit far-fetched, but like definitely at the same time that theory is definitely metaphorically not far-fetched because we are leading ourselves to our own self-destruction with it.
Like
we have given the power of life or the power of suggestion of life to a cell phone. Because we've enabled by putting our lives into it.
Giving it human
Does that
qualities,
make sense?
Yeah. I think that maybe these kind of weird mental disorders that are starting to become ever more present in everybody's youth, that's a symptom of technology. And it might be a symptom that technology develops itself. Like a computer might.
And what is our definition of technology? Because at one time, technology was rubbing two sticks together to create fire.
There you go. And, a lot of people would believe that there's a spirit of the stick, there's a spirit of the fire, there's a spirit of that. There's got to be a spirit of technology, and it's something that we don't really understand.
Do you know what the scary thing is the spirit of technology is everybody uploading their life into it. So now you have this, like, public setting for it. And some people are personal. Here's an outcome of that problem right now. You hear people say all the time, well, why do you got to load something stupid like that on Facebook? Why does somebody have to trash this person or talk about this personal thing? Mm-hmm. Or why did you have to bring up, I'm behind on my rent on Facebook? Why did you have to, go and make this comment about your relationship? And
yeah, it's so weird too.
Like grounds where not only you see it, but like this privacy violation. It's like not having a door on your bathroom. Or on your house, not having a wall on one side of your house.
Yeah.
And everybody can see everything you do.
And there'd be some people that it would be all right if they saw you taking a shit. Like, who cares? But then there's such a variety of people on Facebook. Like, most people will have their family members, they'll have their friends, they'll have coworkers, they'll have everybody that they know on Facebook, right? Just to always be there. But you're always going to be posting different stuff, right? You might, post a joke one day, you might post something serious the next day, you might post, like, you never know where it's going to go sometimes. You just gotta post and
should we, like, there's people we can meet and we agree, we're not like those people. We don't like those people. Maybe we shouldn't, be around those people. But when you have friends and then, like, that friend has friends and they're on that page and they see that post that you tagged that friend in, you know what I mean? And they don't like it. Well, it's like you're creating this conflict that doesn't even need to fucking exist in the first place.
Yeah, like that would never have existed in a regular reality. It's only existing in this virtual reality that we've created. So, like, what is that?
Like, and what does this do to physical activity? I'm kind of curious to see in the future, based on that movie I saw once, because I think the idea is interesting. Was it Real Steel? But the idea of virtual reality of, like, computers controlling mechanical athletes, robotic athletes.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ideas and movies made about the future and technology.
If that happens? What happens to the boxing organization if that were to happen? I think there is technology that's being developed like that right now. I'm pretty sure.
Well, they got exoskeletons, right?
Like, the fighting organization is shut down. They say, oh, it's unsafe, because you look at how the world is about health and safety regulations now. But they say that's unsafe. You can't do this, so we have to do this robot. We're going to control it from here. And now you don't have this boxing anymore. So now we don't have this idea of us training. And that we can go and still do what we do. But, like, there's no place to use that now. I guess other than in the sense of self-defense, but, like, I mean, if a robot comes to fight you, what are you going to do? Try to do Muay Thai on something that can restrain you with mechanical arms?
I mean, really, what is being done to us? We're all being treated as these very soft, very squishy individuals. It's hard to stay, true to being what a human traditionally was, of being a hunter who had to work for his food. Now it's just you have a job, and the real work is becoming less and less important. Like, the oil field is shutting down. Like, that's pretty much one of the realest jobs you could get, going out there and working extremely hard.
What if technology's doing that?
Well, it is, and the more
What if it's
children that are
leading
being
us in,
grown
though?
up by
What if it's
technology,
hunting us?
huh?
What if it's pulling us in? It's drawing us in.
It
What if
does.
it's hunting us? It's hunting us by, like, getting us to, like, upload our information to it.
That idea,
Like, it's hacking us in a way. It's hacking us in a way to steal all the information to be more powerful.
It's
I
like
think that is an idea that should be considered.
The kind of shared consciousness that we all have on technology, and the constant demand to always be uploading. That is the idea of it hunting for more.
Do you think ever,
more experience,
like,
hunting for more life?
What if there's so much energy from all that demand on it that if one day it just, like, becomes alert consciousness and we create life?
I don't think that's possible with a computer for it to just one day become alert. It has to have some sort of connective program.
No, man. Hold on. This is why it's possible. Okay? So you have this computer, but, like, you can wipe your phone. You can factory reset it, and when you turn it on, it's still going to remember a few things. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know if you understand. Like, you put that circuit board in, but once the electricity is flowing through the circuit boards and it's carrying this information here and this information there, that is a form of something. That something is something that is alive and working.
Signature,
that is an energy of the universe. It is something, a part of the world. It is working. Fiber optics, like, what is that nonsense? You know what I mean? So, like, to say it can't develop consciousness, I don't think you can say it can. But I don't necessarily think you can say it can yet at this point. But could it? You probably.
Yeah. You know, I'll talk about a few different things here. I have an experience with my computer where it seemed to become more and less temperamental depending on how much I was using it, how I was moving it, what it was. But, like, that might be just the internal programs, but at the same time, I've had similar experiences with machines too. Like, my cars that I've owned, I'd feel this odd spiritual connection to my car the more I drove it. I'd go on this drive and I would just seemingly let the car drive itself. And I would go driving out of town and I would stop and I'd just think the car would like to stop now. And I would stop and I'd look outside and it's like, ooh, northern lights would appear out of nowhere. Nowhere I would have seen that if I wouldn't have just driven.
That is a very interesting experience, right? Actually. That's a cool story, Taylor.
Yeah, it's weird how they kind of reflect each other that way. And then with my computer, the more I would move it around, the more it would be temperamental, it wouldn't turn on, the screen wouldn't light up, and I'd have all these problems. But when I actually use it often and don't move it around, then it'll work right.
Oh,
that's crazy. That's actually a little bit weird. Or
it's
like when you just leave technology and come back to it and it works, when it's not working, when it's on its finicky end. Like, I mean, those are interesting verses. What if those are those efforts, though? You know, in the same way that guy walks out of a hospital after he crashes a plane. What if that's technology's efforts to attempting to become consciously aware?
I don't think there's any sort of awareness there. There's no awareness to technology.
No. Dude, I disagree. 100 fucking %. No, you connect to the internet. You know that the internet is like this fiber optic air energy waving electricity type shit that you control with wires that goes to this nothingness. And then just a satellite beam that connects from one beam to another beam. Like, no, that shit's alive, motherfucker.
I think it's alive, but it's not aware.
No, if it's alive, it's aware. Simple as that. You don't get life without being aware.
That's not true.
No, fuck that.
I don't think that bugs are aware.
No, life does not happen unless it is aware. Just because a rock has mass doesn't make it life. But the mass
but I mean, a tree has life,
and therefore
I think trees are
the
aware.
Mass has life.
I think plants are aware. I think bugs are not aware. I think people are aware, and I think technology is not aware. It's like these different levels.
What do you mean you think bugs aren't aware?
I don't think they're aware.
Everything is aware. No, see, this is where I think we're going to disagree because Avatar idea, you know how like they're uploading everything into the forest and they all share one stream of consciousness? I agree with that.
They
I
can
agree
connect
that
to
the
the
original
nature, right?
intent of life is to share that one stream of consciousness. So whatever creation output we do from that stream of consciousness, regardless how separated we are as human beings, it doesn't matter. We're creating life all based off us. Our ability, and if you want to look technically at where we're made in the image of creation, or the image of God, or however you want to word that, is we enjoy also creating. We were created, now we create. And that's like this passed down thing. So like I very much disagree. Just because it doesn't have it now doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the can. And you know what? Like I don't think we understand the things that are going on inside of it. You don't. You don't know if that electricity mixed with that shit can create a life. So
I
like
think we
until
do,
you
though.
fucking hook some crazy
We know
shit up
exactly
on
what's
this
happening
thing.
inside of computers.
Yes, just
It's
because
just-
you know what's inside of them, you don't know what's inside of them though when they are working.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I'm
numbers,
saying.
it's calculations,
Okay,
it's
for
billions
example,
and trillions
for
of
example,
calculations a second.
if you cut a human open, Taylor, for an autopsy when they're dead, you know what the organs are, you know how it's all set up and how it should function. But it doesn't necessarily mean you knew what the soul of the human was.
No, but like
Exactly.
being a computer, it's like living a year within the span of a day. It's just way faster. But imagine being the stupidest person on the planet and living a year in a day. That's pretty much what a computer can do. Only it can do these complex calculations.
Yeah, and so imagine if it does have a consciousness, how much you're torturing it. It literally feels like every fucking thing you do is an eternity.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not the same kind of time scale.
Have you not freaking looked up, and you can Google this, have you not looked up anything about people working on uploads in consciousness to a computer? Because what I'm talking about is essentially what I am talking about.
But that's
like, this is going to happen. And then when you're putting a life form inside a digital
that's
device,
the line that gets crossed and ends up producing the frickin' technological revolution, because the computer then thinks it has a human mind and it wants friends, it wants to have these communication, it wants to have life.
This is what
when you make a machine want life,
idea, dude.
It's just bad news. Like we can't do that.
Yeah, but this is trying to be developed now. As you and I are talking, some fucking asshole is sitting in his house trying to find the missing link to what he needs to make this work. I'm serious. There was a show even released about it, and the show was crazy. It was like people being able to upload part of their own consciousness so that their personal assistant, like their computer, was like in the computer, but they would go crazy. And to train them so they would do what they want, they would just make them sit in there for 24 hours. To us, it was 24 hours. To our conscious other self inside the computer, it was like freaking an infinity. And they were broke. If they snapped, they'd go crazy. They needed something to do. And so then they would do what you asked them.
Yeah. So it's been an hour and a half. I think we're going to end it there. Kind of an odd space to end it. But it's time to shut this down. It's almost midnight here, so that was a good convo. We'll have to pick that up again on the subject of
look
technology.
At that, though. Do you agree with that, though? Do you agree with that consciousness? Because that's fucked.
I don't know. We'll have to come back.
I think people are trying to do that.
I need to sleep on it.
Like,
there are people trying to do it.
Google this shit.
No, I can't. This is the time that
Not right now. Not right now. It's fine. But you need to Google that shit and learn about it, because, like, this is not an opinion. I am telling you something that some dude in Russia created a chip to upload consciousness to. Like, this fucking happened. So, like, you should look into it. It's crazy shit.
Yeah, I will. I will look into it, and I will see what I think about it, and then we'll talk about it next time.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Voodoo Monkeys podcast out.
Yeah, that was a deep convo. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks, man.
All right. Voodoo Monkeys out.